For almost 300 years, the galaxy believed humanity was gone forever. Their old borders were cold and empty, filled only with broken satellites and silent stations drifting like ghosts. Every alien map showed the same label over that region, the dead zone. In time, planets that once belonged to humans were taken by other species. Their cities were rebuilt, their resources mined, their history erased piece by piece. Alien children grew up hearing stories about the old Deathworlders, stories that sounded more like nightmares than truth. Humans were impossible to kill. Humans could survive anything. Humans built machines that roared like stars. But those were only stories. Generations passed, and slowly, the galaxy forgot. The fear faded. The borders shifted. Empires expanded. And the silence around Earth became normal. Until one quiet night, everything changed. On the edge of the old human border, a small alien patrol ship drifted through empty space. The crew was relaxed, bored, and half asleep. Nothing ever happened here. This was the quietest duty in their empire: no pirates, no war, no danger. The captain, a calm, long-snout Therine, sat in his chair and watched the stars. He had spent 10 years patrolling the dead zone, and he had never seen anything strange. But today, the silence felt different. The stars seemed too still. The dark felt too deep. And the sensors were not calm. A faint sound appeared in the ship's scanners, so small that the crew almost missed it. A tiny vibration, like a heartbeat buried under mountains. "Captain, did you hear that?" one officer asked quietly. The captain leaned forward. "Probably a glitch. Run diagnostics." The sound grew slightly louder. Thump. 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 The scanners shook again. The crew exchanged nervous looks. The captain stood slowly, his tail stiff with tension. "Run it again," he ordered. This time, the ship's entire sensor board flashed bright red. Unknown energy signature detected. Origin, dead zone. The crew froze. Everyone knew what that meant, at least in the stories. The captain's voice became a whisper. "That cannot be real." But it was real. And the heartbeat grew stronger. Thump. 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 The ship vibrated. The glass windows trembled. The lights flickered. The sound no longer felt like a heartbeat, it felt like something giant waking up after a long sleep. "What is causing this?" an engineer shouted. The captain could not answer. The scanners suddenly displayed a shape, huge, deep inside the dead zone. It was not a star. Not a planet. Not a ship. It was something older. Something sleeping. The captain knew the stories. He knew the warnings parents gave their children. "When you hear the roar," they said, "run." He did not hesitate. "All crew, retreat. Full engines. Get us away from the dead zone now." The patrol ship turned sharply, engines burning bright. But even at maximum speed, the crew could still feel the vibration behind them. It grew bigger, louder, heavier, like the sky itself was cracking open. Then it happened. A sound filled the void, a deep, powerful roar that no living species had heard for centuries. Even in the vacuum of space, alien sensors translated it into something terrifying. It was not mechanical. It was not natural. It was human. The patrol ship escaped into safe territory and immediately sent a report to their empire. The message was short, but it traveled fast. "Something has awakened in the dead zone. It sounds human." Within hours, every major alien empire received the same warning. Panic rippled across the stars. Old memories returned. Old fears crawled back into the light. Military councils gathered. Diplomatic networks failed. Kings and queens of distant empires demanded answers. Some thought it was a weapon. Some thought it was a ship. Some thought it was the end of the galaxy. But one truth spread faster than any rumor. Humanity was not dead. Humanity was returning. And if the first sound was only a roar, then what was coming next? For the first time in centuries, something moved beneath the dead soil of Earth. Deep underground, hidden far below ruined cities and broken highways, enormous steel vaults began to unlock. Dust fell from giant doors that had not opened in generations. Darkness gave way to dim golden lights, flickering on one by one. Inside those vaults, humanity waited. Men, women, scientists, soldiers, engineers, whole communities had lived in silence for hundreds of years. They were born underground, lived underground, and expected to die underground. None of them had ever seen the true sky. But they all knew one thing. One day, humanity would rise again. In the command vault, General Avellini stepped forward as the main door slid open. She had trained her whole life for this moment. Her uniform, though old and faded, carried symbols of the old Terran defense network. She looked at the central tower, a massive machine shaped like a vertical engine core. It pulsed with new life. "Status report," she ordered. A young engineer replied, shaking with excitement, "Power output is increasing, General. Earth's core reactors are waking up." Avellini nodded. "It is time." Above them, old human cities filled with dust and silence suddenly shook. Street lamps flickered after centuries of darkness. Abandoned skyscrapers hummed as old energy lines activated. Broken screens on walls, untouched since the collapse, sparked with ghostly images. On the horizon, the ruins of old New York glowed faintly, like a heartbeat. Elsewhere, on Mars, Titan, and the moons of Jupiter, long-dead facilities booted up. Huge shipyards hidden under ice sheets opened their metal gates. Solar arrays unfolded like metallic flowers catching sunlight for the first time in ages. Across the solar system, ancient human machines began to awaken. Not by accident. Not by mistake. But because Earth had finally decided it was time. In the vault control room, the main screen switched on, showing a star map. For generations, humans had watched the galaxy change without being able to act. Now, the map updated in real time. The changes were scary. Many human colonies were now occupied. Human trade routes belonged to other species. Even the name Earth no longer appeared on alien maps. General Avellini clenched her fist. "They took everything from us," she whispered. "But we are still here." A deep rumble filled the vault. A great machine locked into place. The walls vibrated as the shipbuilding chambers activated. The first human starship in 300 years was almost ready. Meanwhile, far above Earth, an alien scout fleet approached cautiously. They had received a distress message about a human awakening. Their ships floated near the silent zone, afraid to enter but too curious to stay away. Their captain watched Earth on the view screen. To him, the planet looked quiet, empty, harmless. Then he saw it. A massive metallic structure rose from beneath the planet's clouds. Machines pushed aside dust and old debris. Energy crackled across the surface. The captain's eyes widened. "What is that?" His sensors screamed. "Human signature detected. Class, Starship. Classification, unknown." A brilliant flash burst from Earth's surface. Not a weapon, an engine. A giant human warship climbed through the clouds like a phoenix reborn from fire and ash. Its metal hull shone with red engine light. Its wings expanded. Its core thrusters activated with a roar powerful enough to shake alien sensors. Inside the bridge, human pilots sat in chairs coated with old dust. They wiped their consoles clean and smiled. "Feels good to fly again." The ship rose higher, breaking into orbit. Every alien ship in the sector froze. None dared fire. None dared move. General Avellini's voice played through the human starship speakers. "Broadcast our message to the galaxy," she ordered. The communication officer tapped a button. A single message echoed across dozens of star systems. "We are back." Seconds later, she added two more words that made alien governments panic. "Stand by." Because humanity was not finished. They were only beginning. As the first human starship took position in orbit, thousands of lights came alive across Earth's continents. Human civilization had awakened. The silent zone was silent no more. And this time, humanity would not disappear again. The message spread through the galaxy faster than light. Humanity has returned. Some did not believe it. Some laughed nervously. But most felt fear rise in their throats. Every empire knew the legends of humans. Every species had some old warning carved into their history. When the Deathworlders rise, the stars will shake. Now, those words no longer sounded like dusty myths. They sounded like a countdown. On the jewel-blue world of Zalera Prime, the Queen held an emergency meeting. Her palace was built from crystal towers, glowing softly in the night. But inside, the mood was far from peaceful. Her advisors shouted over one another. "This cannot be real. Humans were extinct. Maybe the message was faked." No, the signature was real. The engines were human. The Queen raised her hand. Silence dropped instantly. Her large silver eyes showed a fear she rarely revealed. "If humans are back," she said softly, "then our borders are in danger. We live on two worlds that once belonged to them." A young guard whispered, "What do we do, Your Majesty?" The Queen looked out at the stars. "We prepare. And we pray." Far across the galaxy, in the warlike Grak Empire, alarms screamed in every military base. Their soldiers, huge and armored, ran through corridors with heavy steps. Generals watched old maps that displayed the dead zone turning bright red. "Human signals confirmed," one officer said with a shaking voice. "One ship active. More signatures building." The Grak Emperor slammed his fist on the table, cracking the metal beneath. "One human ship is more dangerous than an entire alien fleet. Increased defenses. Triple border patrols. No one enters or exits human space." "But, Emperor," another general stuttered, "what if they come for us?" The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "Then we will beg the stars for mercy." Meanwhile, the Vorth coalition held a meeting on a floating city above the gas planet Vor 9. Their leaders were logical, calm thinkers who avoided war whenever possible. But even they were shaking. "Our colonies," one leader whispered. "4 of them are built on former human worlds." Another replied, "Humans placed warning beacons on those planets centuries ago. We removed them." "That was a mistake," a third said quietly. "And now?" the chairman asked. A long silence fell. Then someone said the words everyone feared. "We evacuate." While alien empires panicked, humanity moved fast. Earth's underground factories roared day and night. Gigantic metal plating slid into place around new battleships. Titan's shipyards launched drones by the thousands. Mars began producing weapon systems at speeds no other species could match. In less than a week, 3 human warfleets were ready. Fleet 1, the Phoenix Line, led by the warship Helios Prime. Fleet 2, the Titan Vanguard, massive and heavily armed. Fleet 3, the Red Dawn, fast and aggressive. Each fleet carried thousands of trained soldiers, descendants of the old Terran Defense Force who had been raised underground, educated in secret, and prepared for this exact day. But unlike the galaxy expected, humanity did not launch attacks. They did something far more terrifying. They reclaimed their old worlds without firing a shot. The first target was Kepler 62f, a beautiful green planet taken by the Vorth coalition 2 centuries earlier. When the Red Dawn fleet arrived, the Vorth ships immediately fled without resistance. A simple message was left behind. This world now belongs to humanity again. On the fourth planet of the Tricora system, the Zalari surrendered their entire colony the moment they detected a human signature. "We will leave peacefully," their leader said in a shaky voice. Across dozens of systems, the same thing happened. Alien fleets retreated, governments surrendered, colonies emptied. Everyone remembered the stories of human strength, human fury, human survival. None dared to fight them. Except one. The Draith Dominion, an arrogant and powerful empire, refused to surrender. Their ruler, the Draith warlord, sent a message to all other species. "We do not fear humans. They are flesh. They can die." To prove it, he sent his largest battleship, a monstrous vessel called the Iron Fang, to block a human fleet path. The galaxy watched with dread. Would the humans retreat? Would they negotiate? Would they attack? No one knew. But they all waited for the answer. Because whatever happened next would change the galaxy forever. The Draith battleship Iron Fang sat like a floating mountain in space. Its metal hull was thick, jagged, and covered with glowing blue cannons. Every alien empire knew its reputation. It had destroyed whole fleets with a single rotation of its guns. Now it waited, silent and confident, in the path of the human Phoenix line. Inside the Draith command deck, the warlord stood proudly, his spiked armor shining under blue lights. His voice boomed through the ship. "Let the galaxy watch. Today, we break the humans again." His crew cheered loudly, but their cheers hid fear. They had seen the human broadcast that echoed across the stars. "We are back." And no species ever took those words lightly. On the human flagship Helios Prime, General Avellini stood on the bridge, calm and steady. Outside the window, the Iron Fang blocked the entire sector like a steel moon. Her officers looked at her, waiting. Some were nervous. Others were excited. All were ready. "General," the pilot said softly. "They outnumber us." Avellini nodded. "Yes. And they think that matters." The bridge fell quiet. She continued, "Humans have never been afraid of big ships. We are afraid of standing still." Her voice carried strength, not anger, not fear, but certainty. "Bring engines to full power." The moment she said it, the Helios Prime came alive. Its red engine lines glowed brighter than a star. Metal panels shifted as the ship prepared for maximum output. Alien viewers across the galaxy leaned closer to their screens. The Draith warlord smirked. "Foolish creatures. Fire." The Iron Fang launched a massive wave of blue plasma. The blast raced across space, bright enough to light entire moons. But something happened that no alien expected. The human flagship did not move. It simply held its course. The plasma wave hit the Helios Prime, and vanished like smoke in a storm. The bridge lights flickered, but the ship held strong. Avellini did not blink. "Shield stable. Continue forward." The entire galaxy gasped. The Draith warlord roared, "Fire again. Fire everything." Cannons all over the Iron Fang unleashed a storm of energy, blue plasma, red beams, kinetic missiles, everything the massive ship had. The human fleet advanced as if it felt nothing. Alien commanders watching from distant systems whispered the same words in fear. "They are unstoppable. They fight like legends. This is why we feared them." Avellini watched calmly as the Iron Fang poured out its full power. "Measurements?" she asked. "Enemy output dropping, General." "They are overheating," the engineer replied. Avellini nodded. "As expected. Humans do not destroy with rage. We destroy with purpose." She lifted her hand slowly. "Prepare the core engine." Everyone on the bridge straightened. This was it, the moment no one had witnessed in 3 centuries. The human flagship's engines shifted from red to white-hot. A sound shook through space, not exactly noise, but vibration, energy, power. Every scanner captured it. The legendary human engine roar. Aliens across the galaxy froze. Some dropped to their knees. Some cried out. Some simply stared in shock. Because that sound meant one thing. A human ship was about to end a war. Avellini lowered her hand. End this. The Helios Prime fired a single beam. Not blue. Not red. But pure white. The beam cut through the iron fong like it was paper. The enormous battleship split in half, slowly drifting apart in silence. The Draith warlord's final words were a whisper, impossible. The pieces of his ship burned bright, then faded into darkness. The galaxy had its answer. That same day, 27 alien empires sent peaceful messages to Earth. Some begged for safety. Some begged for forgiveness. And some simply said, "We welcome humanity's return." The borders around the dead zone began to shift again, but this time, not because alien empires stole human territory. This time because humanity reclaimed it. Earth grew brighter. Human fleets multiplied. Old colonies returned to Terran control. A new age began, a human age. General Avellini stood on the bridge of her flagship, watching the stars. Humans were silent for centuries, she whispered. But we were never gone. Behind her, the engines of the human fleet glowed like a reborn sun. She smiled. Let the galaxy remember our roar. And they did. Because on that day, every species understood the truth. Humanity does not fade. Humanity rises. And when humanity rises, the stars tremble.